For the African-American population, when Jackie Robinson breaks Major League Baseball's color barrier, it carried the same level of euphoria that we saw as a nation when Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. And of course, Buzz Aldrin also walked on the moon, and Buzz is the forgotten man. Larry Doby would sign with Cleveland literally just weeks after Jackie Robinson breaks the color barrier with the Brooklyn Dodgers, and Larry Doby is the forgotten man. Larry Doby went through just as much. Some may even argue even more than Jackie because he was playing in the American League. And the American League wasn't nearly as liberal as the National League. When he walked into the locker room with Cleveland, no one would shake his hand. When he stepped out on the field,
The Cleveland Indians triumph over the Boston Braves, and the 1948 World Series is all over.
Larry Doby digs in for the Eagles now. Line drive. No trouble here. Puts it away for the out. And there's two away. Out in front with the swing, and that is strike one.
When Larry Doby played football for Eastside High School in New Jersey, they had a game against Montclair High. You know who was on that Montclair team? The other second man on the moon, Buzz Aldrin. Whoa. That high school game with Doby and Aldrin was actually at Hinchliffe Stadium, which was also one of the home stadiums for the New York Black Yankees. Doby played there in 1943 and went 2 for 5 with 2 doubles for Newark.
Swings and blasts one deep to left center, and that should be extra bases. Bates around third. He'll score easily. It's 8-2.
I got what you need, what you want, and what you don't. I do what you see, what you plot, and what you want. I just fiend walking out the corner store.
In 1946, the great Larry Doby had a tremendous season. He helped Newark win the Negro Leagues World Series. And during that season, he only hit .341, was named to the East-West All-Star Game, and finished 1 home run behind league leaders Josh Gibson and Johnny Davis.
Larry Doby steps in with a runner on and nobody out. To short, could be 2. Off balance feed, there's 1. Throw to first, but he beat it.
Larry Doby thought he'd be playing shortstop for Newark, but Hall of Fame player and manager Willie Wells had that position already, and he suggested to Larry that he was a more natural outfielder. He didn't argue with the guy whose nickname was Devil.
That one fouled off.
During World War II, Doby played for the Great Lakes Naval Station's black baseball team, and he hit .348. They also had basketball and football teams, but only the football team was integrated. Hall of Famer Marion Motley was the star.
Next pitch is inside. And that's ball 2. Chris, that lack of integration at the naval station you mentioned, it really bothered Doby. He said it was the first time that segregation really stung him, seeing it in the military. That stuck with him for the rest of his life. Out there to center. Newman under this one. 2 down. In the air out towards right center. Sellers sizes this one up. Makes the catch. And that is that. That one ripped right center field. That's back. Out of here. Larry Doby digging in now. That's towards center. And it drops in. Now he turns and heads for second. And he'll make it up to second as he advances on the throwing error. Larry Doby steps in to take on Satchel. This one swung on and hit well. Way back there. Gone. Doby takes Satchel deep.
Hold up. Real short, real stout, no teacup. I ain't even go no prenup. Plan a Mr. Peanut. Got contacts, I don't want to see it.
Like a lot of players from the Negro Leagues, Larry Doby was an outstanding multi-sport athlete. He'd been a star basketball player at Long Island University, where he played under the assumed name of Larry Walker to protect his amateur status while he was playing for the Newark Eagles. Larry Doby would go on to become the first black to play in the American Basketball League, which would become the precursor to the National Basketball Association.
Now we don't know how to act. Wet, whole team going.
One down. Larry Doby digging in now. Swing and a miss.
You know, Larry Doby was stationed in Hawaii for part of his military service, and he practiced with Major Leaguer Mickey Vernon. Vernon was so impressed, he recommended Doby to Washington Senators owner Clark Griffith, but Griffith wasn't brave enough to sign Doby.
Look out, way inside. No movement. Now a ball and 2 strikes. And a 1-2. And that one is lifted in the air. Sanders under it. Makes the grab. Runner tags from third. Throw is offline, and he scores. And it's 1-0. Ground ball up the middle. That's a base hit. Swing and a ball popped up. Settles under it. And makes the grab. And there's 2 down. Chris, what you said about Clark Griffith is such a contrast to Bill Beck, who signed Doby to Cleveland in 1947. Doby said that when he signed, Beck told him, "We're in this together." That really made an impact on Doby. Larry Doby digging in now. Slow roller up the middle. Little on to first, but the go-ahead run comes in to score. That one lifted to left. Sanders puts it away for the out. 1 away. Fly ball down the line, and it gets into the corner, but it's foul. Fouled off left side. Righty delivers. Hit on the ground, might be 2. Off balance feed, there's 1. Throw to first, safe. And that one fouled off. 1 down, base is empty. Warning track, wall, and you can touch them all, baseball man.
A young Larry Doby would recall his first game in the Negro Leagues against the Homestead Braves. Who was the catcher? The great Josh Gibson. Larry Doby gets into the batter's box. Gibson looks up at him and says, "Son, we're going to see how you handle a fastball." Larry Doby singled. Next time up, Gibson says, "Son, we're going to see how you handle a curveball." Larry Doby singled again. The next time up, Josh Gibson says, "We gonna see how you react when you get knocked down." They knocked him down. He gets up. He pops up. The next time up, they knock him down. But this time, he singles again. Your life was tough in the Negro Leagues. They were never afraid to knock you down. But Larry Doby was never afraid to get back up.
This is it, what? Lucini pouring from the sky, let's get rich, what? The Jiki finds the sugar dimes, can't quit, what?
Larry Doby now at the plate. In the air to left center. Newman in position. He's got it. Here comes the runner from third. The throw is offline, and he's in to score. On the board first, it's 1-0. Ground ball right side. Leonard. And he takes it himself for the out.
Larry Doby took a lot of pride in breaking barriers. He said he hit better in Washington and St. Louis because that's where the parks had segregated seating, so he could tell where the black fans were cheering him on from.
And that's a base hit. So a runner aboard to start the inning. Into center. Newman under it. Hauls it in to end the inning. First pitch misses for ball one. Like you were saying, Chris, Doby broke a lot of barriers. In 1949, 4 black players broke the color line in Major League Baseball's All-Star game. Doby, Jackie Robinson, Don Newcomb, and Roy Campanella. Kicks and deals. Swing and a ball ripped out towards right center field. That'll touchdown for a hit. The relay, not going to get him. He's in there.
For real, swore I wouldn't do it again. My man said that'll change. First time is all about working through your baggage. Second time around, it's all about the baggage claim. Thank your maker, stack your paper with a real one.
If you want an indication of why Larry Doby was the second man to walk on the moon, well, when he gets called up in 1947, he was only hitting .414. Over a decade-long major league career, 9-time All-Star, the first African-American to lead either league in home runs in 1952. He also led the league in runs scored that season. He would go on to become the second African-American to manage in Major League Baseball, only behind the great Frank Robinson. He would become the first to win both a Negro Leagues World Series and a Major League World Series on his way into the National Baseball Hall of Fame.
An historic moment as Larry Doby digs in for his Cleveland debut. Out to center. Fox moving under it. And he makes the catch. Runner tagging from third. He'll score the sac fly. It's 5-2. Larry Doby digging in now. Ripped into right center. Should be extra bases. 1 run's in. 2 runs are in. Runner around third. Now 3 runs are in. Tries to get back and save.
The legendary Jim Mudcat Grant, the first African-American pitcher to win 20 games in the American League. He was a roommate of Larry Doby when he was with Cleveland, and Mudcat was in awe of Larry Doby. And so as Mudcat would tell the story, he got to the hotel room before Larry Doby does, where he hears the key in the door, and there he is. And as Mudcat would describe Larry Doby to him, looked like a giant. He says to Mudcat, "You must be Mudcat." Mudcat says, "Yes, sir, Mr. Doby." He said, "Which bed would you like?" Mudcat says, "Yes, sir, Mr. Doby." He said, "Do you like to watch TV?" He says, "Yes, sir, Mr. Doby." And Larry Doby finally said, "Look, you got to stop with all this, yes, sir, Mr. Doby." And Mudcat says, "Yes, sir, Mr. Doby." The admiration, the respect that was held for this pioneering baseball player and what he meant to this sport was outstanding.
Got on this beat, it made out a bucket list in these bars. I granted this death wish, legendary layup, Jordan with the right left switch, hang time, hang.
The star center fielder Larry Doby digging in for Cleveland now. That one is blasted left field towards the monster, into the monster seats and gone.
All the fake fans gon' pile up. I need peace to borrow, get that right back tomorrow. Somehow all the fans go bravo, smile so much to hide my sorrows. Faith is shaky in vibrato. I can't hold a frown too long. I can't stay down too long.
Larry Doby was Cleveland's top hitter and performed excellently on defense.
In a trailblazing career, Larry Doby is still the forgotten man. As I remind our guest here at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, Larry Doby, too, suffered tremendous indignities as he integrated with Cleveland in 1947. Again, just weeks after Jackie Robinson would break the color barrier.
Jackie Robinson leads off for Brooklyn.
Oh, it was challenging, but Larry Doby endured. And Larry Doby rose above the adversity. But I guess when I stopped to think about it, Larry Doby had been very much prepared to rise above the adversity. After all, that's what the players in the Negro Leagues had done from the start. Larry Doby carried that spirit with him.
This is a great moment. All the struggles that I've gone through and other players of Afro-Americans, this is a reward for all of us.
It's never easy to be the first, but Larry Doby blazed a tremendous path that eventually led him into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. It is still hard to believe that it took until 1998 that Larry Doby would cross the threshold to become one amongst the immortals of this game. But I guess better late than never for this amazing pioneer and this amazing human being.
This is it, what? Lucini pouring from the sky, let's get rich, what? The G keep on sugar dimes.